Zombie apocalypse.
What is going on, you guys? Bastion Wanjo here, and I'm here with a new deck that I've never really played before, but one that I thought was really interesting, and one that I think really symbolizes the Link format, which is Crusadia. Crusadia seemed always like a really fun deck to play. I never got to play it myself. Like I said, I was on it for about 2 years, and I never really got to see too much of like the hype of this deck or anything. But I've been playing around with it, messing around with it, seeing what works, what doesn't online, and I think I came up with a really cool deck that I definitely want to go ahead and share with you guys. So let's go ahead and get right into it. First, of course, you're gonna play one Red Eye Darkness Metal Dragon. It's limited for a reason. Still a really broken good card. You play triple of your Parallel Exceed because you are going to link summon quite a bit in this deck. Of course, it being one of was the most significant. I guess. Not significant, maybe it's not the correct word, but one of the link defining plays, just like how Heroes you would say is one of the fusion defining archetypes. Crusadia would be the same here. So playing opportunities, go ahead and special summon your Parallel Exceed and go into your potential rank 4 plays. So 3 of that I would definitely want to go ahead and play it at 3. Play it at 2 and you draw 2s, you really can't do much with it. So go ahead and play it at 3. Hey, dog. It's my dog Harper. Okay, cool. So after your 3 Parallel Exceed, you're going to play 1 Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, broken card as well, to pair off with the White Dragon Wyvern Burst. You play the 1 Magna Rocket Dragon. I'm going to play 3 rocket cards in the main deck to go ahead and give it that more combo feel of it as well. So you play 1 Magna Rocket Dragon and 2 Rocket Tracers. Next, I want to go ahead and play 3 of the Crusadia maxes, pretty much maxed out on each of the 3 Crusadia cards, except for Leonis. Leonis, when I was first reading this card, just seemed like really worthless, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it looks like Draco, Arborea, and the Maximus are the only like really good ones. Oh, of course, in the Reclusia. Reclusia is also really good as well, because they actually do something. They actually allow me to, or it gives me the protection, and other things. But Leonis doesn't really do too much. I mean, it really just good for piercing damage. But you do want to go ahead and see as many Crusadia monsters as possible, so you can go ahead and combo off. So I'd rather go ahead and see Leonis and have no other Crusadia in my hand than have no Crusadia card in my hand at all, because at least it gives me the opportunity to go ahead and combo off. So of course, 2 Leonis, 3 Arborea, and then 3 Reclusia. And that's pretty much it for the monster lineup. I don't get too crazy. There's no real need for hand traps, things like this. I mean, the deck really does a lot on its own. So I don't feel like there's really need for too many hand traps. I believe would really break the consistency. If anything, if you're really just really adamant about playing hand traps, I would recommend just taking out the Rocket Engine and just playing it straight Crusadia. That'd be the way I'd go about it. So I'd probably take out the 3 Rocket cards and go ahead and go play like Ash, or you can play Gamma because you do have the 1 boost sector launch. But I do play triple Infirm, but we'll get to that in a second. I do play 1 Reinforcement in the army because Arborea is a warrior monster and she's one that protects your Crusadia monsters. So she's really cool to have. Now Crusadia really reminds me a lot of like the old school Noble Knight, where you pretty much just make 1 monster and just protect it. But this one just has so many more opportunities to make more than just 1 monster. Of course, your 1 main Crusadia monster and then your support monsters to the side of it, right? So triple Arborea, 1 Reinforcement in the army to go ahead and search your Arborea. Also 3 Chaos Space allows you to go ahead and get into your Collapse Serpent and your White Dragon Wyvern. You play the 1 World Legacy Succession. I wanted to play 3 of this card, but honestly, it being a hard once per turn really limits the consistency of the deck. So at 1 is just fine. If anything, you can always go ahead and get to by other means. You play triple Quick Launch. I mean, just having as many opportunities to just get monsters on the board. Deck just does it so easy. It'll just flood the field with like 3, 4, 5 monsters. and you go ahead and use those to go ahead and link or exceed and just lock out your opponent. So triple of the quick launch, triple Crusadia power. Crusadia power is nuts because it protects your one Crusadia from being affected by other effects, by other card effects this turn, right? And because it's a quick effect, you can use it on your opponent's turn as well, which means you can make your Crusadia monsters completely, completely invulnerable. That's the correct word. They're just unaffected, right? So unaffected by your opponent's card effects, which is amazing, right? So definitely want to go ahead and max out this card, play it at 3. Also, it is searchable, so you can go ahead and just go ahead and knock that out right there. It's searchable. You only really search it through the Regulix, but again, we'll get that when we get to the extra deck. You play 1 World Legacy Guard Dragon. Again, same reason as the World Legacy Succession is, hard once per turn. It's a continuous spell. If anything, you do want to go ahead and maximize these two by having them both in your hand if possible. But of course, if any changes, I'd probably take out the World Legacy Guard Dragon and put in like the Monster Reborn. But I just think this gives you so much more opportunities to continue with your plays because not everyone's going to play back row removal during this current format. Maybe 2 years ago, heck yeah, everyone was main deck in Twin Twisters because Barrier Stun was a deck that you had to deal with, but it's not a deck anymore. Anyway, 1 Boot Sector launch, of course. Then we get to the traps, triple Imperm, and your 1 Crusadia Crawler, which gives you the free special summon and lets you add a World Legacy card from your deck to your hand. I think that any card that says special summon and search is a really good card. So even if it gets asked, you still get a free monster on board, which you can go ahead and use to extend your link plays. So that's pretty much it for the main deck, guys. Now we're going to go ahead and go right into the extra deck. Extra deck, we're going to go ahead and start it off with... Actually, let's go ahead and start it the other way. It makes more sense. Of course, you're going to play 2 of the Crusadia Magius as your main starter Crusadia card. It's just it's like the Meow Meow for prank kids, right? If this card didn't exist, the Crusadia deck would be pretty much dead because it allows you to go ahead and continue comboing off, right? You could play your 1 Guard Dragon LP. This card, if it gets hit on the ban list, it gets hit on the ban list. But until then, we're gonna go ahead and just play that shit. Next, you play your 1 Striker Dragon. You're gonna go ahead and play your Crusadia Spatha. Spatha doesn't really do too much for the Crusadia deck except for being a Link 2. So if any changes, I am gonna go ahead and probably switch this out for a second of the Regulix. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and keep playing around with this deck. Like I said, I'm not an expert on Crusadia, but I thought it was just a fun deck and I wanted to share with you guys how I've been playing it. So your 1 Spatha, 1 IP Masquerena, of course your 1 Regulex, your 1 Equimax. Now this card is actually really freaking cool because you contribute a Crusadia or a Legacy monster that this card points to, then target a face-up card your opponent controls and negate its effects until the end of this turn, and it's a quick effect. So it is basically an effect veiler on legs, like on, actually on the board. So I think that's really cool. Of course, it is susceptible to cards like Ghost Ogre, but Ghost Ogre is not really a hand trap that you're gonna see too often nowadays. I just realized I'm a little bit off center. That might be a lot better. So I probably should have done it from the beginning, but whatever. Okay, of course, you're going to play your 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Access Code Talker. One of the main reasons I didn't build this deck in real life because Access Code Talker requires way too much money at this point. It's way more than I want to go ahead and invest into the game, to be perfectly honest, because locals is not... I mean, our locals in San Antonio is open, but it's not something that I want to get too competitively invested in until they go ahead and open up the regional tournaments again. So your 1 Access Code Talker, your 1 Saryuja, play your 1 Mech Knight Crusadia Astram. I have thought about playing this at more than 1, but really 1 is all you need because once you get to it, you pretty much should be in good position to go ahead and win that game. So just 1 of the Astram, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 number 41 Baguski, and the Borload Savage Dragon. Now I do play Baguska instead of any other really Exceed in so many decks just because it's It's similar to like a VFD, I want to call it. I'm not saying it's VFD. I'm saying it's similar. It's like a VFD. So I think Baguska is just an amazing card, also because most of the time you're going to end your board with a Link monster, and Baguska doesn't affect Link monsters because it only negates the monsters that are turned to defense mode. So Baguska is just an amazing card to play in a lot of Link heavy decks, and of course Borderlord Savage Dragon is just the nuts. So that's pretty much it for the deck and the extra guys. Now, for those who want to see some test hands, like I said, I'm not a pro by any means. I never say I'm a pro. If anything, I think I suck. But I have a lot of fun with this game, so I want to show you guys more or less what I would do with this hand, right? So I'm going to go ahead and start off. We already have the Parallel XC, so we're already opened up good. And we do have the reinforcement of the army, which we can actually hold off on activating for the moment. I'm going to go ahead and summon the Arborea, and then special summon Magius, and then we're going to go ahead and special summon the Parallel XC. Let's go ahead and get that out the way. Parallel XC. Yes. Activate the Magius and activate the Parallel XC. We're not going to activate Quick Launch just yet. Special summon, yada yada yada. Let's see what card we're gonna get to our hand. I always like to go and make sure I have a Maximus in my hand, just to be safe. Especially when I'm going just into Link 2. If I'm going to Link 3, I would prefer having something a little bit more interruption. But I guess do whatever you feel is right depending on the deck. Now we're gonna go ahead and just make the Abyss Dweller right here, just so we know that we're going to have that negation leading forward in the future, which is going to be really, really good for us. We're going to go ahead and activate the Rhoda. Not going to activate Abyss Dweller yet, doesn't really need to happen. Search for the Arborea. Then we're going to special summon the Arborea to go ahead and go into the Link 2. Right. So that's awesome. Then we can go ahead and activate Quick Launch. Nope, let's not get crazy with that. And we can go ahead and actually summon out our Tuner, Rocket Dragon, activate the Crusadia Rugalex. With it, you can go ahead and search your Protector spell. And then, let's see. Could get rid of the Maximus, but I want to go ahead and keep that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just go into the Link 3 over here. Oh, I should have made it over there. That's my bad. Like I said, I'm not a pro by any means whatsoever, guys, but there you have it. I mean, essentially, so we didn't even have to use the Chaos Space. We do already have one negate on board, and so this is going to negate whatever they normal summon, the Crusadia Equimax, and then the Abyss Dweller will negate everything in the grave. Essentially, you do want to go ahead and make the Equimax here, so I can go ahead and maximize on the attack. Because if I would have made it here in the other extra monster zone, I don't know why I picked the other one. I would have had 3600 plus 1700 attack, which just makes a ridiculously large beat stick of 5300 that your opponent is not going to get over. And then you negate with the Abyss Dweller, you negate whatever they summon with Equimax. If they have something that disrupts you, you go ahead and activate Crusadia Power on them, and that's pretty much it. You know, this deck is just a lot of fun, and that's pretty much it. So if you guys did enjoy, go ahead and leave a like down below. Comment down any suggestions you have for Crusadia. I'm going to go ahead and play around with this deck a little bit more, see what I can do to go ahead and improve it. But go ahead and subscribe for more videos, guys, and I will see y'all in the next one. Later.